Stop.
Yeah, Pavlyuchenkova was waiting for a call here. I think, yeah, she's saying that it missed by a way. That's it, yeah. Well, long, and you can understand why Pavlyuchenkova stopped at that. It wasn't actually that close. Not sure what Kartal made of it. Maybe she thought it was closer than that.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your patience.
Wait, they can't be
The electronic line
point.
calling system, unfortunately, was unable to track the last point, so we will replay the points.
Oh, wow, okay. So we go on.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference for Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. Through to the next one, you must be really pleased with your performance this fortnight.
Yes, very. As I said, I always thought grass was very tricky for me during my whole career. And I'm so pleased with playing so well today. I think I've played a really good match today, considering the fact there was a center court first time for me this year and in first time in many years. And facing such a tough opponent, she didn't give me any free points. She was grinding and putting so much pressure on every ball, and I think managed really well today.
Okay, questions, Martin?
Obviously, there was a particular moment in the first set where you were, I think everyone here feels rightly very angry at what happened. Can you explain from your point of view what happened?
Yeah, it was very confusing at the beginning because the ball looked very long to me, and so I tried to play it, but it was like quite long, so it was even tough to sort of play it. And then I kind of stopped, and then Champa stopped as well the point. And then I was pretty sure that it was my game because I saw it was very long. Then I thought I would just sit on the chair, but then he started calling, and so we were waiting for a decision as the system was down. But I was expecting to hear if they say the ball is in or out, and then instead they just say replay the point. And then that was tricky, especially in that moment. It was a very crucial moment in the match, and then I expected a different decision. I just thought also Champa could take initiative, and that's why he's there for sitting on the chair. And he also saw it out. He told me after the match, and I thought he would do that, but he didn't. And also I expected, so maybe they called in or out, but then instead they just said replay, which I don't know if it's something to do because she's local or, but yeah, there was a particular moment.
You did say on court, they stole the game from me.
Yeah. No, I mean, of course now I won, so no need to discuss this. I'm all happy and all forgotten, but just I think it's good to raise this subject for the future, because if anything like that happens in a very important moment of the match, I think we should have like a VAR system like in the football they have or something, so then it's just clear for everybody and we can move on right away instead of, you know, just guessing, and then it could sit with me for the rest of the match and then kind of unknown, was it in or out, and kind of feeling that it was my game. But luckily, I moved on fast from that moment and continue playing.
Neil?
Hi, Anastasia. Just on that same issue,
Yeah.
since coming off the court, have you been given an explanation by Wimbledon? And do you find that acceptable, what you've heard?
Yes, they did explain it to me now. But again, they said the system was down and it's like a human error. I understand that can happen at any given moment to everybody. But again, as I said, yeah, I think we have to, it's such a big match and such a big event. And I think since we have already automatic line calling and so much invested into this, we should probably look into something else to have better, decisions on it.
Can I just ask you, just to follow up to that, you mentioned about the local favouritism. Did that motivate you more? Did you think you played better after, once you'd recovered from the initial shock of it? Did you think you played better after that?
No, I was fine. I just regrouped myself, refocused, and yeah, I just tried to forget about this and play. Just had to play. So I just said to myself, okay, it's just 5-4. She's serving, okay. She had, I think, a couple of set points, if I remember. But even I just thought, okay, even if I lose the first set, it's just the first set, and a match is made of 3 sets, and I'm just gonna play every point. And it's like this. It's tough out there. The crowd was against me. This situation there, but you know, it's a tennis match. I have to find a way and solutions, and if I want to win, I have to go for it no matter what.
Ben?
As you said, and after you talked to the chair umpire after the match, what was that conversation like? And did you start it, or did he want to explain things to you further?
Yeah, I actually don't remember exactly how. I think he felt bad a little bit. Then he probably felt like he should have taken the initiative and called it out, because he saw it out, he told me, and yeah, so probably maybe he felt something about it. But then again, you know, as I won the match, I didn't want to go into this or like create bad vibes, because yeah, I just wanted to have a nice moment. I won. I'm in the quarterfinal here, and you know, so all good now.
If you had lost the match because of that call, which was possible because it gave her a break,
Yeah.
you know, how would you be feeling now?
No, I would just say that I hate Wimbledon and never come back here. And I would just say I hate grass and Wimbledon, like usually we always do when we lose. No, I think, of course, I would be very disappointed. But again, as I said, I try to look at it as, yeah, I'm working on my mental toughness lately. And so, you know, it's just, okay, it was a crucial moment, but it was just one game and first set. And so, as I said, the match is long, it's like a marathon, and you got to play every point. And yeah, so maybe if I lost, so be it, just not my day. Or, I mean, she's also been playing really good. Yeah, but I won, so.
Charlie?
Well done today.
Thank you.
Something that some players have suggested is that umpires have almost become like de-skilled because they're not really doing a lot. Do you think that's almost like, and that they become quite passive? Do you think that factored in today, the fact that he didn't want to get involved and just sort of stood back rather than overruling, even though he knew, or it looked like he could see the ball was out?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. During the match, I don't think about it at all because obviously I'm like focused on things. But yeah, I think it's also difficult for him, as he probably was scared to take such a big decision. But I think they should. That's why they're there for sitting on the chair. That's why we have a champ. Otherwise, I think soon. Let's just play without them, right? And then we're going to have everything automatic. I think we're losing a little bit of this charm of actually having human being ball boys. And, you know, like during COVID, we didn't have ball boys. And then it just becomes a little bit weird and like robot sort of orientated. Yeah, I can't... It's hard. They're very good at giving fines, though, and convalations. This they don't miss, because every time any little thing, they're just right there on it. But yeah, I would prefer they looked at the lines and calling the errors, mistakes better.
Anastasia, you mentioned at the changeover when you spoke to the umpire at the time that it happened about her being a local player. In the moment, did you feel as though the decision favoured her because she was a British player?
Yeah, I have to be honest, I did. I thought so, because that was very weird. As I said, I was waiting for, we both were waiting for a decision, right? Well, at least that's what I believed he was doing. He was calling to get a decision on, since the system was down, so to kind of see if the ball was in or out. And then we didn't get that, so we just had to replay the point when clear the ball was out. So that's why I just thought it was really strange.
Simon?
Anastasia, do you think that you said you've been working on your mental power or strength, and then on court you said you were used to be a bit crazy. Do you think a few years ago you would have handled that situation very differently?
Oh yeah. I think a few years ago I would probably lose first round here, because in the first match the first set I was breakdown. Nothing was really working my way. I was a little bit sort of tired coming from Eastbourne because I had a deep run there, and I only had one hit at Wimbledon before I started my first round. And I think I've had so many matches in the past where I would just completely lose it. And for sure today as well, having a crowd like that, having this call, I would probably be still talking about this call to my box for the next 10 games, probably, maybe till the end of the match. So then that's, I mean, I accepted that. I think I not always been mental. I think I had poor mentality back, in the past. Not always, but majority of the times.
Ben?
Ask about what you said about wanting human elements on court, and not during COVID. Isn't that something that I guess tennis is losing with getting rid of? Because there used to be, 7, 8 people more on court when there were line judges there. Do you think that's something you'd like to see back, to have it feel like a more human place out on court rather than just the machine takeover of another part of the world?
But as you can ask Elena Ostapenko, that she's fighting with the electronic calls, and at the beginning it was funny, but then after I was getting her point a little bit, because sometimes when we play, I don't know, I'm thinking, am I crazy, or I just feel like the ball is long and then nothing is happening. There is no automatic line calling. And then I was thinking of Helena many times, because I'm like, okay, maybe she's right, maybe, because I've seen a couple of matches in Miami. I think Kasatkin and Kirster, something happened where literally the ball was like this out in the corridor of the court, and there was no call of the automatic line calling. And again, chair umpire was so confused. I think they just chair umpires needs to maybe have a clear plan if this happens, okay, what I'm gonna do in this situation, because I think they a little bit lost. Like, they start calling everybody, they don't know what to do, instead of maybe have a clear decision, right? So if this is the system is down, then I'm gonna take initiative and call this maybe. And we probably should have this system like in football to review.
Okay, I will take one more here.
I
Sonay.
was just going to ask, obviously, as a player, you're so sort of focused on the match. So when a disruption like this does happen, how hard is it to then refocus and get back in? Because at the time it happened, you didn't know how long the stoppage was going to last, or when the technology would be fixed.
You don't really care at that moment how long it lasts. Sometimes I actually prefer those little breaks, because I then have more time to breathe and refocus. And, sometimes when you're like a little bit out of breath, also like I'm a little bit like sick right now. So for me, every longer period was better, because I was struggling to breathe on court, and feel like with the closed roof, it was a little bit like a stuffed air or something. So I didn't care so much about it. Just wanted to know, should I go sit or I'll go surf, kind of.
Okay, we'll take one more, Charlie.
As well, Anastasia, are there things, you talked there about like some things that could change with officiating. Are there rules, are there things that players do when they exploit kind of loopholes in the rules that annoy you, be that medical timeouts or things like that? Is there one thing that you'd kind of change or that you find irritating?
Oh, if the player takes medical, or?
Yeah, there are little loopholes that players sometimes exploit, and I just wondered if there are things that irritate you or that you change. If you
No, not anymore, really, because as I said earlier, like there are so many things. Sometimes players do it on purpose. I think they want to get some, like, distract you or get something from you. Sometimes, I don't know, maybe they're really injured. And so I think spending time, I'm focusing on that instead of, you know, I'm there to do my things. So then I'm afraid to lose my focus on me and not be able to continue with my things. Yeah, some players, like, they shout, or just before I served, which happened in the previous match, before my second serve, she would always clap her leg and scream, "Come on," before my second serve. That was a little bit disturbing, but again, everybody has their routine, and if that helps them, I'm happy for them.
Okay. Thank you very much.